because there's nothing in our history that has Musa interacting with Jibreel. And you admitted it yourself. They went to Waraka because he was a Christian. So if he was a Christian, either he was making the insinuation that this was God, or he made the insinuation that this was Jibreel, or Muhammad made an incorrect assumption. Either way it goes, it was incorrect. The Namis who came to Musa is not Jibreel. But you guys have your entire religion based on Allah giving his word through Jibreel to Muhammad. The problem is that wasn't Jibreel.
Arguments are dusty and they're all the same. The Bible was changed in a cave, you claim, but you can't give a date, man, that's a shame.
So, are you a Muslim, my brother?
Yes, I am a Muslim. Are you a Muslim?
No, I'm not. I'm a Christian. So my question... I'm sorry. Oh, that's fine. I don't care. Believe me when I tell you I couldn't care less. So let me ask you, can we trust the Quran?
100%.
All right. Why can we trust the Quran?
Okay. So do you believe in logic?
Yep.
Okay. So you're going to apply the same logic for your Christian faith as you would for what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who brought your revelation?
Don't worry about my revelation. I'm asking you about the Quran.
Okay.
You don't believe in my revelation anyway, so there's no reason for you to bring it up.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to go for apples, orange for oranges. We're going to compare like for like.
It's not apples for apples, because according to you guys, the Bible's not even truly the word of God. It's been corrupted, so there's no reason for you to even mention it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use it to destroy you quite easily. I'm a professor of theology.
Congratulations. Okay, well, here, Riz, do me a favor.
You're scared like a chicken, boy. I'm going to cook you so hard.
Riz, do me a favor. Shut up long enough. I don't care if you're a professor, okay? If you're a professor...
You're scared now. You're stuttering. You're sweating.
I'm not.
I see your temperature increasing. You're going into the oven right now, and you're ready for it.
Okay.
You're ready to get roasted and broiled.
Who revealed the Quran? Who revealed the Quran to Muhammad? Professor.
The angel Gabriel via Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Now watch me whoop this professor's ass, and let's see whose rhetoric is dominant at the end. Watch, Riz.
So you've not even gone on
the angel Gabriel revealed it, right? I want you to follow the conversation and shut the hell up with your rhetoric. Put that crap back on the shelf with everything else you got from the dollar store. Okay.
First go get your barber to straighten your head. Do me a favor.
Hey, shut up and answer the question. So Gabriel gave him the revelation, right? Did Gabriel give him the revelation, Professor? And he's quiet now.
I'm not quiet. I gave you the answer already.
No,
You're repeating the question.
Okay, so Gabriel gave it to him. Where did he get this idea that this was Gabriel in the Cave of Hira? You got to unmute yourself.
The angel told him.
The angel did not tell him, jackass. You came in here talking all this crap, and you say you're going to cook me. But according to the mother of believers, now I'm going to treat you like a scumbag, because that's how you came in here acting. According to the mother of believers, your prophet went home crying like a little girl to Khadijah. Khadijah took him to Waraka, and Waraka said this is the Namis who came to Musa. So, Professor, tell me, who is the Namis who came to Musa, and where did your false prophet get the idea that this was Jibreel? Go ahead, Professor.
I gave you the answer already.
No, you didn't. Show me where Gabriel revealed himself, because if that's what you're saying, then you're calling Muhammad a liar. Because if Aisha narrated this in Sahih Muslim 160a, would it stand to reason that these are the words of your prophet, Professor?
So you're already moving on to hadith without... we meant to be focusing on the Quran.
This is the foundation of your event which led to the Quran.
Okay? See, this is the problem with you fake
the conversation. Stop trying to shift. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work here.
See, you're not applying logic.
Answer the question.
You're not applying logic.
Answer the question.
You're not applying logic. See, I knew he was going to gish gallop like a bitch. He was going to gish gallop.
Hey, jackass, answer the question, okay? You came in here and said that you're a professor. You came in here and said that you're a professor, right? So I'm going to what Aisha said in Sahih Muslim 160a. And Sahih Muslim, because according to you guys, the hadith are the revelation as well, because they're run like a jackass. You say you were going to cook me, right? Well, guess what? Just like every other Muslim who made the same claim, you ran out of here like a straight girl and said, well, it's not logic. The first thing he wanted to do was talk about the Bible. Well, guess what? This week is not defense week, ladies and gentlemen. It's offense week. Because as you can see, whether I am on defense or offense, whether I am on defense about Christianity or offense about Islam, they can't do it. They can't do it. I love defending the Gospels. But when you hit them with the offensive, they run even faster. Speaking of suck.
Good, man. How about you?
Can't complain, man. Is out here trying to get the truth out there. What's going on with you?
Good. I see you got a topic up today.
Yeah, man. I actually was asking a supposed Islamic professor about Aisha's words and Jibreel identifying himself. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you can answer. You seem to have been doing this a long time. Why did Muhammad make the assumption that the Namis who came to Musa was Jibreel?
The Prophet Muhammad didn't say that was Waraka.
I know.
Said that.
I know. So if that was the identification that Waraka made, where did they come to the conclusion that this was Jibreel?
Because Waraka was a Christian who also believed in Gabriel, who also believed that an angel is an agent that's mostly sent to the prophets.
Correct. Okay, excellent. So if Waraka was a Christian, right, then he would have had to have gone to the scripture in order to get this information, right?
He used to write gospels, actually.
I know. Yeah. So where did he get this information then? If you're saying that the assumption was that Waraka was making that this was Jibreel, right? Where in the scripture are they getting the information that Jibreel was the Namis who came to Musa?
Yeah, he was getting it from the books that he reads. Gospels
which books?
That he had
because
in his hand.
that's not in the Gospels. It never has been.
That's not in the Gospels?
Never has been. The angel, the Namis who came, first of all, here, Ninja, have you ever read the Old Testament, especially like Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy? Did you ever read those books?
I've read some parts of the Old Testament, but I've read the most of the New Testament.
Got you. When Moses began to speak, right? When everything happened before the Exodus events, during the Exodus events, who was Musa communicating with?
Well, before he became a prophet, you mean?
Sure.
Before he became
however you want to look at it. Who was he communicating with before and during the Exodus events?
I'm not sure, because
it was
what
Yahweh.
I know is that he used to communicate with God,
Yeah, exactly. So now that introduces a huge problem. Because either Waraka was incorrect or Muhammad incorrectly assumed that this was Jibreel. Because there's nothing in our history that has Musa interacting with Jibreel. And you admitted it yourself. They went to Waraka because he was a Christian. So if he was a Christian, either he was making the insinuation that this was God, or he made the insinuation that this was Jibreel, or Muhammad made an incorrect assumption. Either way it goes, it was incorrect. The Namis who came to Musa is not Jibreel. But you guys have your entire religion based on Allah giving his word through Jibreel to Muhammad. The problem is that wasn't Jibreel.
Yeah, so you're just presupposing that an angel came and spoke to Moses when that's not what we claim. Because Yusuf and all the prophets, when one of the prophets was thrown inside the well, he was saved by a mysterious man. And then according to our theology, that was Angel Jibreel. So there's different interactions that Jibreel has with prophets.
Sure. And
where he looked after the prophets.
Yeah, I grant you that. But here's the problem with that, Ninja. Those subsequent interactions were already based in the presupposition that this was Jibreel. What I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not making an assumption about what you guys believe. I'm letting you know that the original identification was false and fraudulent. It would be like me blaming you for a crime that you didn't do, and I wasn't there to witness, but I said, yes, that was Ninja. How do you know? Oh, because I have some paperwork that shows that Ninja did X, Y, and Z, and therefore that's no. You would say that's ridiculous. This is exactly how that identification was made. From that moment forward, Muhammad started believing that this was Jibreel. The problem, what I'm asking you is, where did your prophet get this idea? Because
that's not true.
Okay, so then tell me what the truth is, because this wasn't Gabriel.
Yeah, we have mutawatir hadiths, which are mass transmitted.
Okay.
And these hadiths which are called the hadith of Jibreel, and there were companions who witnessed the Prophet receiving revelation, and since revelation was heavy upon him, he started to sweat. And so we have witnesses that the Prophet Muhammad received revelation. It's not just him assuming this. This is what his companions wrote.
Okay, and is this hadith subsequent to the events of the Cave of Hira?
Yeah.
Okay. And was the identification already assumed? Because I know that even in the Hadith Jibreel, which I have read just to confirm this, Gabriel never identifies himself to Muhammad and says, I am Jibreel. He doesn't do it to Muhammad's companions.
So in Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, Ibn Kathir, page 74, it doesn't say that. Ibn Kathir says, Ana Jibreel, okay, I am Jibreel, do not be afraid. I am a prophet sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so if you are stating now that Ibn Kathir, who passed away in the 1400s, is stating that that's what he said, now you have a bigger issue. There's more scholars, not just them.
Oh, that's okay. But here's the thing. Did Sahih Muslim 160a, was it narrated by Aisha, the mother of believers?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Ibn Kathir is stating that supposedly that they when they were in the cave, that he identified himself, now he's insinuating that Aisha is incorrect or lying about what Muhammad told her transpired in that cave.
Because this is also found in the hadith of Jibreel, which was written in the time of the Prophet.
So which one do we believe? Because at the end of the day, Aisha made it clear that your prophet told her that he had to go home to Khadijah. He had no idea who this was. Khadijah took him to Waraka, and Waraka was the one who fraudulently identified him. The problem is, if this is what happened, none of this was necessary if Jibreel identified himself, because Muhammad would have went home knowing who this was. But that's not what happened. So now you're saying if there are other hadiths that say it, which I haven't seen, and I actually haven't found that, but even if I granted you that it did, now what you're saying is that Aisha is either lying about what Muhammad said, or Muhammad lied to Aisha about which way it went down. Either way it goes, you don't go out of your way to try to find out who this was if he already identified himself in the cave.
As an Abrahamic faith, literally, this is how every single prophet reacted. Even when Daniel was received by Angel Jibreel, he identified himself, and you know this, but he still went blue and he turned red and he couldn't speak for 2 weeks. So that, okay, but then that's me saying, oh, well, how do you know that's Jibreel that came to Daniel? How do you know it wasn't a demon? He started choking and sweating.
Well, here, let's talk about that then. When Gabriel interacted with Daniel, when he interacted with Zechariah, when he interacted with Mary, did he here? And I'll just go through this list with you. This is not a gotcha, nor do you capitulate to anything by just yes or no. This is just.
I'm not trying to get a gotcha. I'm just trying to make.
No. I'm saying me. I'm not trying to get a gotcha on you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So when he interacted with any of those other three people, which thank you for admitting that the Bible makes it clear that Gabriel did identify himself, did he press any of them until the point where they could not bear it?
It's not about pressing.
No. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Did he press on them until they could not bear it?
No.
Okay. Did he ask them to read or do anything that they could not do? And then even after them stating they could not do it, he continued to demand that they do it. Did he do that to any of those three people?
No.
Okay. And finally, did he make any of them run away without knowing who he was and feeling cold and feeling tension in his shoulders and in his back and asking to be covered by their significant other after they had to run all the way home?
You're not addressing the issue though.
No, I am. I'm
You're not addressing why Daniel went blue and he couldn't eat for and speak for 2 weeks.
No, I am, because at the end of the day, you've already admitted that Daniel, the way that he reacted, especially being elderly, is not the same as being pressed into the point he could not bear. Did Gabriel make?
Say that in the Bible.
Did Gabriel make? Does the Bible say that Gabriel made physical contact with Daniel or Zechariah or Mary? Did he make physical contact with any of them?
He doesn't have to make physical contact.
So we have already established what is called the behavior pattern and or modus operandi, which means that when Gabriel would appear and interact with human beings, it was nothing like the way that he supposedly interacted with Muhammad in the cave.
So can you tell me why Daniel was afraid?
Daniel was afraid because he was taken aback by an angelic being. That is not the same as feeling like he's cold. Hold on, brother.
The same thing?
No, you can't, because you have, by your own admission, Gabriel never made physical contact or abused these people.
It's not about physical. I'm talking about the appearance of Jibreel when he descended.
It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm talking about.
It doesn't matter. Because you know what else you're obfuscating there? That Gabriel immediately made sure and told them, be not afraid, and gave them clarity. Was there any clarity given to your prophet in the Cave of Hira?
Yeah, he actually was in the hadith of Jibreel, which you haven't read.
Okay, so now we're back to Aisha lying again.
So, yeah, but let's talk about the when Jibreel squeezed the prophet. Do you know why that happened, or you don't know?
I'm only reading what Aisha. Why? Go ahead and tell me why. Why did he squeeze him?
Yeah, we have exegesis of this hadith as well. We have commentaries and we have exegetes. So the reason the prophet Muhammad, the angel Jibreel squeezed the prophet was because the prophet had dreams which would last 6 months that came true the next day, and the angel Jibreel squeezed him so that he's telling him that you are no longer dreaming, that this is reality and you actually are seeing a creature.
So he had to do that 3 times. So it was necessary to do that 3 times. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? So 1 time wasn't enough. He had to do it 3. He had to do it 3 times. And then does that mean is that why he also continued to ask him to ikra, despite the fact that he'd not given him any revelation to ikra or read, despite the fact that he knew he couldn't read and he told him he couldn't read?
Ikra doesn't just mean read; it means recite.
That's what I just said. So if you can't ikra, if you haven't gotten anything, Here, let me say it
You
in
said
English.
Ikra and then said read. I
Yeah,
just told you
ikra
that's not
means
what it
read
means.
or recite. So let me say it again.
Yep.
Is that why he told him 3 times to ikra, despite the fact that he hadn't given him any relation to recite or ikra, or despite the fact that there was nothing for him to recite because he couldn't read anyway? He did what? He did what?
Yeah, so you're saying he didn't have anything to recite. That's actually false because we know that the angel Jibreel used to descend for every third of the night teaching the Prophet how to recite the Quran. And that's exactly what he did. And that's exactly how the Quran was written because he spoke it back to the companions.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and read it. Because what's funny about that is you're ignoring the fact that he, even when Gabriel did, and your Gabriel anyway, even when he did finally reveal ayahs to Muhammad, it was 96 1 through 5. After demanding 3 times that he recite. Why would you demand somebody recite something when you haven't given it to them yet? But here, let's read. Then, yeah. So, the first form with which was started the revelation to the messenger of Allah was a true vision in his sleep. And he did not see any vision, but it came like a bright gleam of dawn. Therefore, solitude became dear to him, and he used to seclude himself in the Cave of Hira, where he would engage in meditation. And that is a worship for a number of nights before returning to his family and getting provisions again for his purpose. I'm sorry, guys, this is a little long. It'll take me like 2 minutes. He would then return to Khadijah and take provisions for a like period till truth came upon him when he was in the Cave of Hira. There came to him the angel and said, recite, which he replied, I am not lettered. He took hold of me, the apostle said, and pressed me till I was hard pressed. Thereafter, he let me off and said, recite. I said, I am not lettered. He then again took hold of me and pressed me for the second time till I was hard pressed and let me off and said, recite. To which I replied, I'm not lettered. He took hold of me and pressed me a third time till I was hard pressed, and then let me go and said, recite in the name of your Lord, who created man from a blood clot, recite. And your most...
What's he telling him to recite there?
He's telling him to recite what he just repeated after pressing him 3 times.
That's what he's meant to recite, right?
Okay, great. So here's the thing.
So
why
you
did he
just
tell
baked
him?
yourself, right?
No, I didn't bake myself because why would he say it 3 times? What was he supposed to? Okay, so here.
You just said you didn't have anything to recite 2 minutes ago, and then you read it out.
Yeah, let's see who's laughing after
You
this.
do just 2 minutes of homework?
Let's see who's laughing after this, my friend.
Yeah.
How many
we'll
times
see.
did he tell him to recite? Yeah, we'll see.
That
How
doesn't
many
matter.
times?
You made a point that he didn't have anything to recite.
Now it doesn't matter.
Right?
So now who's baked? Now who's baked, clown?
I never made a claim about the 3 times. I didn't make a claim.
Hold on, Ninja, because this is what you do. You're pathetic.
You see, I'm getting muted now, guys.
You are getting muted because you're not answering the question. How many times did he tell him to recite?
3 times. I said 3 times. Let's go.
So the first 1 and 2, and actually 3rd time, he told him to recite. Did he have anything to recite?
Did he have anything to recite?
Did he have anything to recite?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Did he, according to the hadith you read?
After getting choked and told to recite 3 times?
No. Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
He got choked and pressed 3 times.
Read the hadith one more time. No. Read the hadith one more time. Let's see.
Here, I'm going to mute you, and we're going to see who's laughing. All right. Now, guys, let's see in the chat. Let's see in the chat, because this guy always comes in here laughing like a schoolgirl, acting like he's doing something. Okay.
What, you like it when I laugh, Maverick?
No, I think you sound gay, actually. So please just keep yourself muzzled. So it says he would then... okay, this is hilarious. He would then return to Khadijah and take provisions for a like period till truth came upon him while he was in the Cave of Hira. There came to him the angel and said, recite, to which I replied, I am not lettered. He took hold of me, the apostle said, and pressed me till I was hard pressed. Thereafter he left me off and said, recite. How many times did he just tell him to recite here, Ninja?
3 times, buddy.
No. So what? Right here.
2 times,
after the first time, so that he's pressed once here, told to recite twice. Does he have anything to recite?
That wasn't your initial argument.
Does he have anything to recite?
Yes, at the 3rd time when he said recite.
Does he have anything to recite right now?
Yes, the 3rd time when he said recite.
Okay, we're not on the 3rd time. Listen, stop laughing like a girl. Does he have anything to recite at this point?
Yeah, in the 3rd time, yeah.
Yeah, and the 3rd time. Is this the 3rd time, Ninja?
No, yeah, that's the 2nd time.
No. Yeah, well, but he's telling him to recite despite the fact that he hasn't said what to recite yet, right?
So why are you ignoring the fact that the 3rd time he did have something to recite?
Is he telling him to recite Despite the
Look how
fact
angry
that
he's getting.
yeah, because you're an idiot. Is he telling him to recite? Despite the fact,
read the third. Read it again.
is he telling him to recite? Despite the fact that he has not given him anything to recite.
In the third time, yes.
Okay, here, do me a favor. In the third time, get the hell out of my face. If you're telling somebody to recite something, bear in peace and Noel, does that mean that it would stand to reason that you have something in the noggin to recite?
Yep.
I cannot wait to upload this. You are literally a free piece of content. You couldn't be more of a jackass if you tried. Yes, after the third time. That's not what I'm asking you. Oh, no, but you can't answer that. Because if you answer it, then you realize that this was your prophet getting slapped around by a demon because he's telling him to do something that he very well can't do. And let me see, Sister Peace. Would an angel of light know that this man cannot read, or would he know that he has nothing given to him to recite yet? Would he know that?
Yep.
So then why would he press him to the point where he can't bear it?
Have no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly, Ninja. Listen, Ninja, it's like you don't understand plain English when it's pertinent to you, right? Because right here, your mother of all believers is making it clear that not only is this true, but she's also making it clear, rather, that he had to go home and run home crying to Khadijah and then to her cousin to identify them. And then guess what happened with the identification? It was still wrong. And you're telling me I'm coping. Here, guys, check this out. Let's see who's coping after this. Let's see who's coping. He then took hold of me and pressed me for the second time till I was hard pressed and then let me off and said, recite. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, does he have anything to recite at this point?
According to him, I guess not.
I guess not. Oh, man. Okay. To which I replied, I am not lettered. He took hold of me and pressed me a third time till I was hard pressed and then let me go and said, recite in the name of your Lord. Does Muhammad have anything to recite right here? No. Then he says, who created a man from a cloud of blood? Ladies and gentlemen, even according to Quranic standards, are people created from a cloud of blood? No. Why would you think? No. Why would you think? No.
You don't see how?
No, you don't see how? John, who did Musa used to interact with? Was it Gabriel?
Not in my Bible.
Do we have anything, even when
Not
we go
in
back?
the previous scriptures.
Not in the previous scriptures. When they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls, which predated Muhammad by almost a millennia, did those scriptures have Musa interacting with Jibreel?
He was interacting with someone, all right. But I don't know about Jibreel. I don't think I saw Jibreel in there.
Oh, okay. For Ninja Dawa, Jibreel interacted with the Pharaoh in your fake book. The problem with that is that this book is based off of this foundational event, which is false. We can't even get into this assertion that Jibreel interacted with the Pharaoh because the foundational event, the identification of Jibreel, was false. Jesus is king, baby.
Arguments are dusty and they're all the same. The Bible was changed in a cave, you claim, but you can't give a date, man, that's a shame.